It's a never-seen-before televised face-off between India's best and brightest entrepreneurs.
We are already 10 times better than Google Assistant and Apple Siri.
Our jury is on the hunt for that one groundbreaking idea that will shake up the entrepreneurial landscape.
3 revenue streams.
No, sir, we have 4.
Let's just back up a little.
No.
Don't give me a third answer.
Your revenue model, in my opinion, is too complicated.
And you have to be resilient, you have to be able to withstand that.
And we are going to throw you in the deep end of the pool.
Like Mr. Roy said, you have to now prove your concept.
With up to 1 crore rupees as seed funding, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where ideas are assessed, empowered and enabled to take off. This is the moment. It's time to crown a winner on Pulse the Venture. And before the final challenge kicks in, it is time to get the contestants and audience charged up with a note by Amitabh Kant of Niti Aayog. Amitabh Kant is the author of Branding India, an Incredible Story, and has been a key driver of Make in India, Startup India, and Incredible India.
Well, all the young entrepreneurs here are very, very distinguished jury. It's a great pleasure to be here. So if you look at India, you have all the problems. You have problems of drinking water, how to provide fluoride and arsenic-free water to our people. You have problem of how do we provide seed and fertilizer to our farmers. There's a huge challenge of cleaning up our cities. We've been through this whole pollution bit in Delhi, and how do we clean up our cities? So the challenges for India are enormous. And if India, while we are growing at about 7% plus, we are notices of growth in the midst of a barren economic landscape. The challenge for India is to grow at 9 to 10%. And 9 to 10% over a 3-decade period. And this can never happen till we don't become a very innovative nation, until we don't disrupt. And we need to disrupt across sectors. We are supporting a lot of incubation centers, and we are running a lot of grand challenges so that many of you can participate in these grand challenges and win huge prizes and provide solutions to India's problem. And you have you can't have a more eminent jury than this. I mean, they've all made remarkable impact during their young days. I mean, they've all left a huge imprint in India's growth story. So it's one of the most unique jury you can ever come across. So I'm really delighted and that CNN IBN is doing this unique program, and I really want to sit through and see as to which team is going to walk away with that 1 crore. So I look forward to this pitch battle, and I wish you all the best, and I wish these 4 teams all the best in a great pitch battle here. So thank you very much and all the best. Great delight, great pleasure, and wonderful being in the midst of all young entrepreneurs here. Thank you very much, ladies.
And here's the eminent jury that will choose the standout entrepreneur and idea. Vineet Nair, the former CEO of HCL Technologies Limited, a restless and relentless innovator who has helped inspire organizations and individuals to deliver high performance in their fields. Raman Roy, the father of the Indian BPO industry and the founding member of one of the largest networks of angel investors in India. Saurabh Srivastav, a Padma Shri awardee and one of India's leading entrepreneurs and institution builders. Saurabh is widely acknowledged in India and globally as one of the architects of the Indian IT industry. Taranjeet Singh, with 2 decades of insight and experience of the media industry, Taranjeet Singh is the country director for Twitter India. He leads business strategy and cross-functional collaboration across the country. Anshu Diwan, a progressive thinker and a man whose entrepreneurial experience and passion is what leads the Startups Initiative at the DS Group. Shireen Bhan, business journalist and managing editor of CNBC TV 18, and the host of shows like Young Turks, The Nation's Business, and India Business Hour. And it's time to bring on the finalists of Pulse the Venture. They're on stage and brimming with excitement. The nervousness is in the air, and the contestants are full of hope and enthusiasm about their entrepreneurial dreams.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Confident of winning, or what's happening?
Yes, sir.
So tell us what your team said when they figured out that you were a finalist.
The team was very happy. First, it was like they didn't believe that we could reach to that point.
Yeah, so it's been a very exhilarating experience for me and my team. It's like a dream come true for us. Very importantly, we got our idea validated by such eminent members of the industry.
So are you guys ready to face the subject matter experts today? Because they're going to grill you properly and they're going to basically validate further whatever your claims have been so far.
Yeah.
14 years Shireen has been...
16
years. She's been talking to startup people like you, and today, finally she sits on the other side to help us choose one of you who'll get 1 crore. 90 lakhs, 10 is mine, right?
It's time to hear some inspiring words from Dr. Jagdish Sheth. Professor Sheth's timely advice aids business leaders and policymakers looking to develop long-term strategies for positioning for the future.
Pulse the Venture, I think, is a great initiative for one primary reason. The nation's real competitive advantage is entrepreneurship, nothing else. Today, entrepreneurship is by mission in some fashion, but also entrepreneurship is also by passion. And surprisingly, in fact, among the 4 finalists, as I was reviewing, I found fascinating that in all 4 of them, besides being a capitalistic motive, some sort of a profit motive, there is a social agenda. In 2 key industries, one is the healthcare. 2 innovations are clearly organized around them. There's the finalist. And the 2 others are in the environmental space. And both are very critical for the future of the nation. The first and the most important lesson we learn is that entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a 100-meter dash. Second major lesson of entrepreneurship is that entrepreneurship is hard work. It is 24/7, not just being mentally involved, but also physically involved. You have to believe and have this positive attitude that despite all the struggles that you go through in your personal life, professional life, during this journey, there is ultimately a great success story. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry again, I cannot be there. I see the excitement in the voice I hear around here, and I wish I could be there. Congratulations.
But after the words of wisdom, the entrepreneurs must get ready to face another tougher test.
So folks, you've been through a lot of hoops. You presented to us as a jury, then we sent you into the market. You discussed and showed your product to a potential customer, and we got feedback from your potential customers. Now, as you get into the last leg, what we're going to do is we're going to have what we are calling the face-off with an expert. We have an expert in each one of your areas who's already been briefed about your project, what you're looking to do, and as an expert, he will discuss with you, question you, ask you the details, and we will support him in his questioning to be able to understand. Based on that face-off and the input that we get from the expert, all of us as a jury will decide who's going to walk away with 1 crore.
The face-off will further validate their technology, will help the judges make up their minds on who the winner should be.
So all the best, folks. Look forward to the next session.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. All the best.
Coming up, Pankaj faces his toughest challenge yet as he faces an expert in his field and defends his innovation.
Do you have a value benefit?
100 tests and million tests, what is the cost advantage?
So,
Manufacturing.
Up first, Dr. Pankaj Parashar with his product Skin Tiglo.
I'm a medical graduate. I've done my MBBS. The device that I'm working on, it's a point-of-care diagnostic device and it's a screening device. The condition called as proteinuria, where proteins are present in the urine.
If you get protein in urine, is it indicative of ill health for sure?
Sure.
So is there a person in AIMS we can make a phone call who
Yes,
validates this argument? Okay, thank you so much.
Hello doctors, I'm Dr. Pankaj Parashar. I'm here to introduce you to a new point-of-care diagnostic device for urine protein estimation. As you all know, proteins in urine are a pathological sign indicating various diseases. So in that case, we need something that is very reliable. The device, the consumables, the tests are only these cuvettes. These are the specially designed cuvettes which we have developed for that, and the consumable cost is around 5 rupees per test. That's the only cost for this. So when we do the test, when we fill up the cuvette, then we cap the tube, put it in the device, press start. Now we have to enter the patient ID, press enter, saved. The range got is 10 to 20. So this gives fairly a indication or a information to the clinician through a pathologist that what is the range of the proteins being excreted in the patient urine.
I think this is a good option, especially for the clinicians, and it's cost effective. The results are immediate. Accordingly, immediate action can be taken. So I think it's pretty good.
It is now time for a face-off with the expert Dr. A. Velumani, the founder, MD and CEO of ThyroCare.
Hello.
Hello sir.
Right. I wish you all the best.
Thank you sir.
You claim that it is 2 milligram per 100 ml.
Sir.
The conventional methods are 30 milligram per 100 ml.
Yes sir.
How did you move to 30 to 2?
So the biochemistry involved in the dipsticks, which are enzyme based and have reagents and indicators which change color because of the change in the pH. So because they are enzyme based, so they have a threshold of change in the color, and you have to manually match the color with the shade card on the bottle.
So this is not calorimetric.
So this is not a colorimetric method. It's not a enzyme based method. So
then it is turbidometry or immunoassay?
Sir, it's not immunoassay, it's nephrometric. That's
It's nephrometric.
Yes, sir.
So what is the business model?
So for the business model, we have sales and rental for the doctors, hospitals, and patients who would like to use it for the affording patients who would like to use it for the at-home monitoring. And for the rural cases, we have a franchisee model where a person from the healthcare background, like a Ayush doctor or a healthcare worker like a Rasha worker, could take a franchisee from the company and do the tests for the people then and there.
So you wish to appoint franchises?
Yes, sir.
So which is revenue for you, strip or the machine?
So the consumables, these are the cuvettes that we have redesigned,
right.
And along with that we are putting in the reagents, so that would be a continuous revenue model. Along with that, the sales and for the franchisee also an initial cost for the device, that would be a revenue model.
Velumani sir was really very tough as a judge. He had very many questions, as well as the best part was his poker face. I never knew I was going correct, I was going wrong.
So I did wanted him to specifically answer, because investors are very keen to know how long it takes to reach to a good number. Why it is disposable? What is the necessity to dispose it?
So because the reason being that, because it's an optical device, so by multiple uses, these may get scratches, and because of that, the errors in reading could be there, so which could be a false report.
Do you have a volume benefit? 100 tests and million tests, what is the cost advantage?
So
Manufacturing,
the cost would go down to some, say less than ₹1 if we go for a bulk manufacturing of the consumables. The device right now costs around 10,000 rupees, because it's a
how cheap the device can go.
So the device could go as low as around 3,000, 2,000 rupees for manufacturing, and then we can have some margins over there for the sales. And
what will you do with the funds?
So the first, because it's a medical device, first it has to undergo product development. It's a prototype. So it has to undergo a complete modification from this stage to a sophisticated looking equipment for an urban market and a robust.
Is this machine only for microalbumin or urea, or it can do other parameters also?
Sir, it's for protein urea, it's not for albumin urea, I would like to correct.
Will you continue to operate, or will you sell it?
No sir, we are planning to continue.
So will you be developing a brand? Which disease you are targeting as the disease of your product?
Sir, because this is detecting proteins in urine, so that means any disease that affects kidney.
Which is that
first disease? Yeah. So
which
first
is that disease which is in maximum
so the biggest
impact?
The biggest impact would be diabetic nephropathy. Hypertensive recent researchers have shown that patients with hypertension and microalbuminuria, more preponderance of more cardiac diseases and deaths. So they can have a more pregnancy-induced hypertension is the most important aspect that we would like to cater up to.
What actually is the consumable other than the cuvette?
So the cuvette is pre-coated with the reagent.
Okay.
That is the entire thing that we are. That's the entire thing. That's the beauty. And the 2 milligram is where the microalbuminuria level starts. But our device detects even at 1 milligram per 100 ml, which even the micral strips from Roche do not do that. So we have a upper hand on all those things. Whereas the micral strips cost around 85 rupees per strip, and our test could cost around 5 rupees per test.
So will it work in a clinic or a lab in a field?
So first, in a doctor's clinic, I'm a doctor, I can keep the device on my table. Second, it would go to the primary health centers in the public healthcare system down the line. Third, patients can keep this at home monitoring on a rental basis.
How many tests it can do per hour?
So per hour, it takes the entire process of test putting, it takes around 10 seconds because it has to enter the patient ID.
Straight away urine?
Straight away, put in the urine, mix it, put it in the device, press start, put the patient ID. We have enabled it to put till 12 digits for Aadhaar number so that we can retrieve the data also because it's a smart device. The data goes to the cloud.
Any diagnostic product to get into streamline or mainline, you need quality, cost and speed.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead on all the three.
So the quality, this is the product development that's going on. Then we'll go for a quality assurance, CE certification at least because we have to get into at least Indian market and then we can even access the international markets. So the cost of the test would still go on going down.
There are multiple revenue streams that you're looking at.
Yes, sir.
Have you done a sense of what your initial revenue streams, where will they come from? Who's going to be your real customer right in the beginning?
So the initial thing that we were thinking about just getting into the market was having a strategic partnerships. Like there are services, app-based services for healthcare, leading services like Practo or RoxApp. These could be our strategic partners for straight away getting into the doctor's place.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
I think I did a good job in giving the answers, but I don't know what happens next. So it went well.
What do you think, sir?
He has a product and if he claims it to be 2 milligram per 100 ml, if that is true, he truly has a product.
I'm sorry, you said if it is true.
If it's true. Could be 4 milligram instead of 2 milligram. But it's certainly even 4 milligram is a very great achievement if he has done that. He is going to get a solution to the diabetic patients monitoring where the leakage starts very early. We come to know very late. Then we realize that it is too late to control. So it is very good to know very early. Currently existing strips are testing microproteinuria, that is the levels which is...
So he does have a differentiated product.
Yes, that is the differentiation as a product. But he tells the cuvette will go as low as 2 or 3 rupees. If that happens, it is a breakthrough.
So as the owner of Thyrocare, would you be able to use this device in the tests you do?
If it is 2 milligram per 100 ml, it is very much in.
This if is troubling me because all 4 people have promised the moon. That's the reason they have been shortlisted.
But I think even 4 milligram, as I said, is
That's fine. Let's take 4. Do you think he can deliver 4?
He should refine it and reach to 2 also if he is 4.
You.
The methodologies can be improvised.
That's a big help.
That is very helpful.
That's very helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, the entrepreneur who wants to eliminate pollution must first take on questions from the experts on why he should win 1 crore rupees.
The automobile sector. No, it's not a question of only back pressure.
up is the green warrior Irfan Pathan. With his carbon cutter machine, Irfan has been tremendously motivated and focused about taking his product to the market.
My name is Irfan Pathan. I am the CEO and co-founder of Green Tech Solutions. We have invented the carbon cutter machine and the anti-pollution tower. I go by the mantra, just do it. Pollution is one of the most important and challenging issues of our times. We at Green Tech Solutions developed our unique patented technology to stop particulate matter emissions.
What is the exact process जो आप करते हैं?
उसको हम सर एक patented
ionization कर रहे हो ना?
जी.
What do you need the money for? What are you going to do with it?
Sir, we need it for the certification.
Certification
from KRAI.
He's saying that I need to go and get a government validation, which cost me 40 lakhs. So he's very clear what he needs the funding for.
तो अभी कार्बन कटर मशीन लगाने के बाद ये इस एग्जॉस्ट पे अटैच हो जाएगा हमारा मशीन और हम इसके अंदर PM 2.5 और PM 10 रोक लेंगे.
कितनी देर चलाया आपने?
40 minutes.
40 minutes का suspended है.
Its control on carbon particles is decent.
It is cutting almost 80 to 90% of air pollution, so we can use it.
Irfan, congratulations, you have ventured in.
It's now time to face the expert, Anjan Mukherjee, the founder of Taril Tech Solutions.
Market which you are addressing is so huge that probably, and if it is true, I'm standing in front of a billionaire.
Right.
The big if appears again.
Remember, the jury gets to participate.
So the if has to disappear by the end of this conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Please break the dream into reality.
Yeah. So the market is so huge. What is the segment you're going to go for first?
So we are targeting the automobile sector. So we are talking to OEM for the carbon cutter machine. We are also talking to the government to install anti-pollution towers.
Since you said automobile, how are you going to get your first revenues? Because from what I know, for anything to be fitted in an automobile, it takes at least 2 to 3 years from the automobile makers themselves.
Sir, we have already tested our machine with an OEM. We have done the first phase and we will be doing the second phase at the end of this month. And they are pretty much interested to take up a technology as license.
I'm slightly confused about it being a retrofit and not making any difference to the existing, the performance of the existing car.
Sir, there is no back pressure. There is the only point being that there has to be some back pressure if you apply something else after the muffler.
No, it's not a question of only back pressure. Since you're ionizing the...
Sir, we are ionizing the thing, but we are also adding a positive charge. So it is not only negative charge, we are doing a positive charge.
And how big is the device?
Sir, the device, it varies from, for a 4-wheeler it's different, for a 6-wheeler it's different.
No, what I meant was...
It is 17 inch.
And from what I gather, that if you fit your device from Bharat 4, it can go to Bharat 6.
Yes.
It's a probability event. And if it is a probability event, then how are you guaranteeing when, see, the most of the pollution happens when you're accelerating and you're doing the start-stop in a bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Right.
So if that is the case, then how are you going to ensure that it is actually working at all the different...
Sir, the only agency to certify that is the ARAI. It was pretty decent, so he was asking me pretty technical questions, and being a patentable product, we are not in a position to answer anything on national TV.
I find it very hard to believe for the simple reason, when you actually are, you have a device and you're doing whatever your probability event, and a particular percentage of the particulate matter gets trapped by one pass. So why don't you just make it in series, and since there is no back pressure, there is no power required, almost like you're saying, we'll probably have breathing air at the end of it.
Sir, we can't, because if we put it in series, then there will be back pressure.
So there has to be, I mean, it can't be that one has no back pressure and in series it has back pressure. So
I will encourage you to answer that question a little more technically, because he has used 2 words, probability and no back pressure, which is not believing. You're losing the plot here.
What we are doing is we are taking power from the battery We are charging, we are doing proton and electron bombarding, we are doing positive and negative charge. We are attracting two particles, PM2.5 and PM10 together. We are making it PM40. And then by the method we have designed, we are storing it in a box.
Thank you so much.
Irfan, as a teleite, I have thought of you over the last 10 days very, very many times.
I agree.
Thank you. All the very best. Thank you so much.
I am satisfied, but I think that the judges and the face of judge have to take a leap of faith in our product and say that this might work.
Based on what you're seeing, do you think it is real and that can happen? Pushing very hard.
Many people are working on this ionization principle, and just by fitting an ionizer and you can do this seems slightly hard to believe.
Do you think he has a kernel of a solution which can actually be
known solution.
taken
This
forward?
is not this is a known solution. Everyone does that. I mean, how do you otherwise remove the particulate matter?
Do you think there is something unique about this product, or it's the old ghost being caught into a tube and something else is working here?
If you want to increase the ionization, the battery life has to go down. I mean, you're adding another thing to it. So that's precisely what I...
Whether the battery life goes down, whether it is only in steady state and not in acceleration, is it something that we should encourage him to progress and take it to the next level?
I would think this type of a thing has definitely got repercussions in the other part of the car.
Yes.
It cannot be that just a retrofit of only this can do it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Abhijit must answer some hard questions on Cerebros. Will the experts love it or will it be ventured out?
Logical thing to tell you something is wrong.
I can see in Dr. Mahajan's body language that he is not buying into your technology.
From a device that can help us breathe better to a device that claims to save lives, it's time to bring on stage Dr. Abhijit and Cerebros.
I am Dr. Abhijit Das. I am a neurologist. It is a functional brain scan, not a structural brain scan. We'll understand how the brain is performing in terms of the electrical activity and the blood flow.
What kind of funding are you looking for?
Set up the network, run the system, and put the 50 devices for use for 1 year, then we'll go the big. So this 1 crore will give us the platform to claim the $1 billion.
What he's attempting with his partners is breakthrough, and I think we need to venture it in.
Dr. Das, can you have a quick screening on this patient?
So the device has been connected, we have started getting the data. The device performed well, the data was collected and transferred very smoothly. At the prototype level, it did really well.
Dr. Abhijit Das, we were actually overjoyed and overconvinced you are ventured in.
But it is time to see if the expert, Padma Shri Dr. Harsh Mahajan, founder and chief radiologist of Mahajan Imaging, is convinced too.
I'm a nice guy, so don't worry. What is different about your product? Could you tell us?
My product is a physiological brain scanner that can work at point of care. There is no technology for brain that can reach at that site. So the patient has to be taken to a scan center, the scan has to be done, and a radiologist has to come and interpret, and a decision has to be made. This takes time, and time kills brain, because brain is one of the most time-sensitive organ in our body. Every second after a stroke.
But do you think this is really a scanner? Can it show us the brain?
No, this is a physiological scanner.
Now, what happens when someone gets a stroke or has a head injury? The brain is unique in that you don't really need any physiological thing to tell you something is wrong. The patient will be unconscious or he'll have some seizure. So how is this going to help?
Yes, sir. So, for example, for brain injury, the patient can be perfectly normal. but he may be developing an hemorrhage inside, what we call talk and die syndrome. The patient may be perfectly normal, he will be sent home, he will come back dead within next 24 hours. And also for stroke, people may misunderstand it. People may think aphasia, people may think about that he has gone out of his mind, we see very commonly. So what will have, all these injuries, maybe subtle injuries, will have different signals in view of how the blood flow is going up or down.
So on the one hand, you're saying subtle injuries, because serious injuries which may kill will definitely have some symptoms. You're saying subtle injuries. How will a subtle injury kill a patient?
Sir, because stroke may be turned subtle, but it may make you paralyzed for lifelong. Our device can diagnose all the other kind of strokes also.
Who do you think is going to be the user of this device?
Yes. So we have a huge user base. Anywhere, any patient having any kind of neurological emergency, this device is going to be used. Everywhere an ambulance goes out should have our device.
And our ambulance services, will they be able to transmit the data?
Sir,
and where will your data go?
No, this device, because the amount of data collected is quite small. And if you can, we have developed the technology for that. So you can send it small packets that can easily transmit it through 4G strength.
But you are trying to create a whole environment.
Yes, sir.
Based on a device where the government has failed for years. What is the artifact level like? Where all have you tested this device?
So the artifact level, I agree with you. Here we are actively researching on this area. The artifact levels are quite high. So what we have done, we have designed an algorithm to cut down the artifact, because in our device there is also an accelerometer, because EEG is very much artifact sensitive.
You know, you are thinking as if the brain is an inanimate object, that if something goes wrong in the brain, nothing happens to the body.
There's some points of disagreement, and let's see what happens.
He just talked about using it in 15 patients of stroke, and I frankly am not convinced that there's a business case there at the present point of time with the way the product really stands.
And at the price point we are proposing 100 rupees per scan for a neonate. It is routine scan.
How much does the device cost?
So our COGS is around 50,000.
I can see in Dr. Mahajan's body language that he is not buying into your technology. Is there, in the next 30 seconds, can you say something to him to convince him on the fact that it works? Forget about use case.
For example, you are traveling by road and you had...
That's a use case.
Use case. Someone made an accident from Delhi-Jaipur highway.
Thank you so much. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I hope I was able to convince Dr. Mahajan.
Dr. Mahajan, tell us.
See, it's a good device. It's a technology that's available. It's being tried. It's to study brain function. It rivals what we do on MRI, functional MRI. But personally, to me, it seems quite, taking it really far to think that this will become a point-of-care device, however small it may be.
To say we do that in MRI, which is a huge equipment, horribly expensive, if this can be a portable but a much milder version, it could have applicability.
You will still need to do the MRI or
but
the CT scan. Is that it may be able to triage that this is the one who gets an MRI or who goes to hospital, and this is the one who may not need it, and this is not fail-safe as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
On the other side, the wait is finally over. Will Santosh Ram and DriveAmp cruise through this round, or will it be the last stop?
So it's both actually.
Who wins the ultimate test, and who goes home 1 crore richer?
And the winner is...
It's time for the last finalist, Santosh Ram, and his product, DriveAmp.
Hello judges, my name is Santosh Ram and I'm the co-founder of DriveAmp. We aim to enable electric mobility by creating products that accentuate the growth of electric vehicles in the market.
Santosh, that is what my problem was. You said you're creating a protocol adaptable to all vehicles.
So we are yet to integrate the billing system into this.
You've been ventured in for the next round.
Thank you so much. Okay. And another feature we are providing is also you can configure the device according to your own wish. So if you want QR authentication or RFID card based authentication, or you can scan authenticate via QR code. So once you're authenticated, you just remove the plug from the device and you can plug it into your car. So from a EV user point of view, so you can just log into your app and find out where the closest charging point is and whether the plug is currently being used or is it free, and whether it is a paid service or a free service.
If they will just provide such type of substance which will give a help to the customer, so that will be a very good thing.
Santosh, DriveAmp seems to be at the right place at the right time, and with that I am happy to say that you've been ventured in. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And it is time to convince the expert, Vibhav Newell, co-founder of Reconnect Energy.
So imagine I am the client.
Okay.
Sell me, what are you about?
Basically, our company DriveAmp is a smart electric vehicle charging infrastructure solution provider. So what we have as a vision is we want to create products that enable the faster adoption of electric vehicles and the sustenance of e-mobility in the market.
So your customer is like a restaurant like Cafe Coffee Day or a petrol station?
So we are mostly trying to tie up with either electric utility companies or electric vehicle OEMs themselves.
If you tie up with, say, a Tata Power in Delhi,
yes,
or a Mahindra, how are you going to charge?
So the first part we will give you is the hardware, that is the EVSE as a whole. So we have 3 different models. Recently we have also created the Bharat EV AC, which has been proposed by the government. So right now we are looking to tie up with manufacturing units. So we will kind of give them the architecture and the controller, and they will kind of manufacture it and give it to the operator.
What is the key? Is it the software or is it the hardware?
So it's both actually.
How do you approach it? If you go to Tata Power, right? Why is Tata Power interested in your hardware or your software? Why can't they just do it themselves?
So basically, I think we are kind of giving them a solution which is already like, I don't, from what we have kind of spoken to even EV OEMs, we've kind of spoken already to a few solar companies as well as a few two-wheeler companies who are looking to launch their electric models by next year.
Yeah.
So they are kind of actually not very interested to focus on the infrastructure. They're very happy if someone else comes and kind of does it for them.
If I'm the operator, are you going to charge me every month for this?
Yes, so you will be buying the hardware. So we have like 3 different AC models right now. So we are only focusing on AC right now. Eventually we will soon be also focusing on the DC.
Why AC? Like, why?
So if you see globally right now, the basic infrastructure is easy. It's easy to install at locations.
Isn't the unit that you want to run, the car itself, a DC?
It has a DC battery, but yeah, there is also an onboard BMS which takes care of the AC to DC conversion.
You said the uniqueness of your product is that you could do multiple charging or multiple cars simultaneously with one device.
Yes.
Right? So could you explain that uniqueness, technology uniqueness, and we get an expert opinion on that?
If you've seen the recent Bharat EV AC specs, so that charger kind of defines the standard, which is the first kind of standard which is put out by the government, stating that 3 vehicles should charge simultaneously from each device should have 3 ports and 3 vehicles can charge simultaneously from that. So what we have built the controller and the software to handle that kind of requirement.
What is your IP? Like, is it sounds like a dashboard?
1 minute.
Right? Yes.
And the expert, tell him what you want to tell him.
Focus on the USP.
So our basic USP is to enable electric mobility.
Okay, thank you. Your time is up. Thank you so much.
I think he's in a good space. We are at the cusp of, moving from a fossil fuel-based infrastructure to the electric vehicle infrastructure. There seems to be some sort of a business model confusion. The hardware business and the software business are different.
Talk to us little about the uniqueness of the IPR or what he has in this.
Especially
controller.
The multi-charging.
Yeah. Is
that unique or is there?
Is it unique?
Multi-charging is not unique. There are existing products. So if you go to Europe today or to the US, mostly Europe, not so much. Well, US as well. If you go to a restaurant or you go to an office parking space, there are multi-charging points. Product today is a charging station. I did not see what is so unique about the charging station.
I think there's also another point. I mean, currently with the kind of funding he would get, he would only be able to do small scale.
Yep.
I think scalability would be an issue.
This requires big money.
This requires big money because this is big time capex you're talking about.
Really fast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think what was really refreshing was to see that it wasn't another set of ideas that was focused on e-commerce, for instance. What they were trying to address were real needs in the marketplace. What they were trying to address were real challenges. A lot of it was consumer tech.
The time to announce the winner is close. Which idea convinces the judges of its merit, business model and importance? It is time to bring the weeks of hard work and deliberation to a close with a winner who is set to take home 1 crore rupees for his entrepreneurial idea.
If we get the 1 crore, it will help us to jumpstart the business. Even if we don't get, our journey will continue. The journey of innovation will continue.
I think I would be among the first and the second choices of the judges. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
I think that I might get through.
And joining the judges on stage is Joy Chakrabarti, President Revenue TV18. The wait is over. It's time to announce the winner of the most iconic entrepreneurial search, Pulse the Venture.
So we fell in love with the doctor. And doctor it is, but unfortunately there are 2 doctors. One of them measures the head and one below the belt. In this particular case, the head loses and the winner is Cutting Edge Medical Devices, Dr. Pankaj Parashar. Congratulations.
I never thought about that to reach to this point when I applied. But yes, somewhere I wanted this badly, that I wanted to be in the top finalists. I wanted to win this prize. So after this long time, I'm very happy that I've won this prize.
Dreams are not what you see at night. Dreams are what keeps you awake at night. I think Dr. Pankaj Parashar subscribes to that. He has that passion, he has that capability. I am very, very sure he's lying awake at nights because of the understanding of the impact that he can make. And this award will be a little step to help him in that direction.
It's totally, I have no words. I've just got in my senses back. Otherwise, 17 years of efforts I've put into this to reach to this point. I put around half of my life into this, so, but yes, I feel like it's on top of the world right now.